Peace, peace. It's Brother Fahim, and you are now tuned into the Lead with Logic podcast. Hey, you know the vibes. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm your most gracious and humble host, Brother Fahim, and you're now tuned into another episode of the Lead with Logic podcast. Listen, I appreciate you guys coming out, man. I really do. For those of you all who are new, let me introduce myself. As I just said, this is the Lead with Logic podcast, and I'm your most gracious and humble host. And what we do here on the Lead with Logic podcast is this: we take the controversial, the sensational, and the mundane, and through objective data, right? Books, peer-reviewed journals, articles, interviews, documentary clips. We take all these things, put them together, and we extract the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that people can live life in 3D and their enlightenment can be enhanced. Now, what I tell people on the street is this is a brand, a saying, and a podcast. Now, we're already engaged in one of those uh, parts of the trifecta, right? The podcast. And that's every night here on my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do hit the like button and subscribe. Every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch me right here going live, doing my thing. Second, Lead with Logic is a saying, right? What does the saying stand for, Brother Fahim, right? Letting enlightenment and divinity win in this harsh level of God's infinite creation. That's right, letting enlightenment and divinity win in this harsh level of God's infinite creation. Hey, that is the saying and the brand. I'm gonna put it in the jumbotron. It is we have hats, we have hoodies, and we have tees and whatever else you please. So it's www.leadwithlogic7.com. Again, that's www.leadwithlogic7.com. You can go to the website and pick something up and support the movement, right? We always talk about, advancing ourselves as people, advancing ourselves as a group, right? How do we overcome the hump of capitalism? How do we overcome the hump of racism? Well, we start by supporting those small business owners until they can become big business owners. That's what we do. That's how we do it. So, yes, I appreciate y'all. And I always tell people this, man, wherever you at, wherever you are, know that you are a star. I appreciate you because, like any people, man, y'all could have been anywhere else in the world tonight, but y'all came to be here with me, and I appreciate that. Look, I know I podcast on YouTube and Facebook. So if you on Facebook, you know what it is. Send the direct message. Send this link out to the direct message. Repost it on your page, man. The more, the merrier. The more people we get in here, the better. Also, I see you. I see you. We already got a nice support. I appreciate. Yes, and please, I'm gonna get to that as well. Also, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, hey, you know what to do. Share that link, send it out to about 100 of your people. Get them in here. Maybe not 100, maybe 99. Get them out to 99 to your people. 99 people. Have them come on in. The more, the merrier. And we can get this thing started. And I appreciate you, right? I appreciate you. Hey, whew, life moves at such an ultramagnetic pace. I try to keep my boots laced so that I can win the race. Yeah. It's always so much going on. Never short on content because the world keeps on spinning. I was told by an old soul that, man, life is like a wheel, and if you don't grab on, it's like a wagon wheel. And if you don't grab on and get a good grip, you'll get left. And the way time moves at a light speed, I'm beginning to believe that. Shannon Sharpe's crucifixion, the prince is dethroned, and Gilbert's battle in the legal arenas. All play on words, right? All except Shannon Sharpe. Yeah, except Shannon Sharpe's crucifixion. What has been going on, man? It's been a lot. It's been a whole lot lately with Shannon Sharpe. This is something that is recurring. It's new stuff. It's all kind of things that have been happening with that brother, and it's to be learned from. It's lessons that we can learn. The prince is dethroned. I don't know if y'all know who the prince is. King Kong consciousness, right? The prince of Pan-Africanism. That would be none other than Dr. Umar himself, right? He has put a cry out for help. he has been requesting fundage, fundage from the people because per the doctor, and I'm gonna show it to you. Per the doctor, man, he's flat broke, and so yeah, he's looking for a little support there. And then Gilbert's battle in the legal arenas. If you know who uh, Agent Zero is, for all my NBA fans out there, he played for the Washington Wizards. Also played for Arizona in college. That was a pretty dope squad. But Agent Zero was his nickname. He hit Kobe for 61, I want to say. Marbury for 50. But No Chill Gill, that's another one of his nicknames. He's in a little trouble for some gambling that he has gotten into. So these are all things, man, that we are going to tackle. And I'm also going to brisk over the comments that Donald Trump made about Charlemagne the God, a little bit about Puffy and that whole dilemma, right? Puffy could be going home, y'all. I'm not sure if y'all saw that. Yeah, Puffy might be going home, which is crazy. I've been saying Puff has been railroaded since the very beginning. Since the very beginning, I was saying that Puff has been railroaded. And now it's coming to fruition, right? But all these things mean something. All these things have an undertone, right? An underlying meaning. It's six of us. I love that. That's a quality. I appreciate y'all. Listen, for the six that are in here, please, please, please let yourself be known. Introduce yourself. Say what up, Lee. It's Seven. Yeah, say what's going on. Because if you talk to me, I talk back, right? We're talking black. So let's get to it. We're gonna have a black-tastic show. But I want to recognize, right? You see, I'm gonna put y'all on the screen. I'll get to highlight you guys real fast. So you only live once. Grand evening to everyone. Hey, peace and love. Peace and love. I like it. I like it. Peace and love. Free spirit. Peace 777. Absolutely. Absolutely. I see you, free spirit. I see you. See, you been Brooklyn since 1899. All right. All right. Yes. Now I'm gonna put what I always do is I put my store in the I'm gonna put my store on the screen. I want you guys to go over there and check it out and see how you like the merchandise, right? I'm always gonna have my merch on. Just about, we got hats, hoodies, and tees, like I said, and whatever else you please, right? Leave logic. Yeah, yeah, I got my merchandise. So, what's first on the agenda? Well, Shannon Sharpe. Let's go to Shannon Sharpe now. Ooh, y'all been eating Shannon Sharpe up. The comments that I've been hearing about Shannon Sharpe has been crazy. It was a sister on Instagram. She was saying, "How dare he not help his daughter with her wedding, but he paid this woman these multi-millions of dollars." I remember also when Shannon first got accused of messing with this youngster. Man, and you can go back on my lives, I can go back in my videos and y'all see it. I remember critical, how critical we were of Shannon Sharpe. We were super critical of him, right? They were saying, why would he deal with a girl so young? Because this girl was 19, 20, right? Why would he deal with a girl so young? They were also saying, well, the big thing was, why would he deal with a white woman, right? That was the big thing. Why would he deal with a white woman? What's up with that, Shannon? So it almost added insult to injury. A lot of people didn't like that. I'm one, and I'm gonna tell y'all from the outstart, I do not try to dictate love. It is unrealistic from my perspective in the society in which we live to try to mandate who we can and cannot love. See, like I always say, we don't live in a society where it's solely one people, one person, right? Or one group or one ethnic group. No, we live in a multi-dimensional, right? A diverse society where we are integrated, or we are exposed to all different nationalities, all different ethnicities, right? That's America. That's America's claim to fame, right? We are one big soup, right? Now, regardless of how true that is or not, We absolutely deal with different cultures daily. We shop at the corner store owned by the Arabs. We go to the bank owned by the whites or the Euro uh, Americans, right? We shop at the Nam de Moon owned by the Indian people, right? We go to the tea spot owned by the Moroccans, right? And guess what? We go to school with all of these groups. So if we happen to end up falling in love with one of those groups, can you blame us? Why put us out there if you don't expect us to do what people who are in close proximity do? There's a reason why people who work together and go to school together have the highest rate of sexual intercourse. It's because they're around each other all the time. Well, in America, we are around different groups all the time. You cannot expect us to just primarily choose one, or I don't expect it anyway. But I do say be careful because two things can be true at once, right? So let's get to this. So I'm going to show you guys a little something. Let's look at what Shannon Sharpe had to say for himself, because he came out and made a statement. He was fired. That's what it was. Shannon Sharpe was fired from ESPN, which I kind of expected, because you have to, for those of you guys who don't know or don't understand this, when you're dealing with a major corporation, they have you sign different clauses. And these clauses are understanding and agreements that if something happens that will reflect negatively on the brand, you can be let go of, right? It's just like in certain states, it's a non-union state. If you're in a red state like I am, there's non-union. So if you get let go of, they don't owe you an explanation. These contracts with these organizations are similar to that. They can let you go, but they're letting you know if you do anything, if any crimes occur, if you commit anything, whether you're innocent or guilty, we're getting rid of you. You're gone. That's why you see people losing endorsements. That's why you see people getting fired. That's why you see these things when these occurrences happen. It's nothing personal, it's business. So the best thing to do is, act accordingly, or protect yourself, you know, like they tell you in boxing, protect yourself at all times. But I'm gonna pull up what Mr. Sharpe had to say, right, about having to leave ESPN because he got fired. And again, I expected, I thought that it would happen sooner than what it did. But hey, but I'm gonna pull this up. Listen, like I said, I see a couple people spoke. We got Free Spirit. You only live once. My brother Turhan Ice. I see you, big dog. Peace, peace, brother. We got Ice in the house. And who else? Who else? Yes, like I said, that's only what, three of y'all. So please, the other people, come forth. Hark, who goes there? Let yourself be known. Get inside of this conversation. And by the way, I tell people this as well. This is merely a monologue. This is a dialogue being exercised or being conducted as a monologue. So look, y'all talk to me, I'm gonna talk back, right? Because I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm anxious to hear you guys' take on these things. What are your perspectives? I'll pose questions. Please respond in the chat. Please, please. All right, here we go.
From ESPN, and I spoke about it in a video earlier today, but he hasn't actually been at ESPN.
I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, I just wish this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me this. I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. And I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me when I was at ESPN and every place that I've been, be it Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Undisputed, ESPN. Thank you guys for your support.
So that was what Shannon had to say about the circumstances, him being fired, him being let go at ESPN. First, before we go any further, let's read these comments, because I think some more people, we got some new people in the building that I need to properly introduce, right? So, Brother Ice said, yes, sir. That's my big brother back home in the Shy. And once says, you only live once, says his brother Sterling, which he was just speaking about. His brother Sterling was just inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, making them the only siblings to be inducted. Absolutely, you won't be able to deny that. That won't be overshadowed. Not in the long run, maybe in the short run, maybe to the peanut gallery, maybe to the shallow waters of the pool that is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But for those people who are deep, who think deeply, and who recognize that he's a human being who's not without flaw and recognize his works, I think, Sterling Sharpe will get his just due, right? And also, he will also be credited as the motivator for his younger brother, who became a Hall of Famer as well, who not only followed in his NFL league footsteps, but he became a Hall of Famer. So that says a whole lot. This next brother, before I go further, brother Ghazi Muhammad, that's my brother, man. Keep teaching. Man, I want y'all to click on Ghazi, follow Ghazi. He has a dope program. He teaches people how to take their story and turn it into success, turn it into inspiration and motivation for all others, right? He teaches that, right, Brother Ghazi Muhammad. And at some point, I'm gonna have Ghazi on here. Ghazi is a character. He's electric, he's funny, he's relatable, and he's down to earth. And the brother has lived a life of kings, and so I love that brother very much. And I want you to, I would really appreciate if you guys follow my brother Ghazi, please. I do believe that he will continue with his own thing despite ESPN. Absolutely. Back to Shannon Sharpe. That's absolutely right. Once. That is absolutely correct. You know, the barbershop for me is a place that I love to go into because it keeps me humble. It keeps me abreast of what's going on. And it's just a funny place to be, right? It's a little different from when I was growing up in the 80s, right? I'm a 80s baby. When I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, the barbershop looked a little different, but the concept was the same, right? It was still brothers speaking and talking, but I had a discussion in there, and I was saying, man, I'm surprised that they didn't let him go sooner, but I don't think that it'll hurt him. And they were like, well, we think it will, you know, tarnish his image. We think it will hurt him. And I don't know. I don't know about that. See, the thing about Shannon Sharpe is that people miss that I want you guys to receive is this. When you create something of your own, whether it's a business, a platform, a brand, whatever, a product, a service, and you own it outright, no one can cancel you. See, he can't be canceled because he's created his own lane with Club Shay Shay. That's the beauty of it. Now, if he was solely dependent on ESPN, who is owned by Disney, right? I understand it. He doesn't offer a lot of value for them to keep him. And also those contracts, right? This would reflect this wouldn't reflect well on Disney's brand. So I get it. They gotta let him go. But the lesson in that, brothers and sisters, is steal away. Build your own. Do something for yourself, no matter how much of a salary that you're getting at your 9 to 5. Man, put something inside of your 5 to 9 a.m. Right? Siphon some of those funds over there because it is my perspective, it is my thought process that this will not hurt him as much as people think it will hurt him. Right? He's a Hall of Famer, so no, without a doubt, he gets a pension from the NFL. He has different streams of revenue, or he had, and let's say that the ESPN is gone. We gotta remember now, Shannon Sharpe broke the internet with that Cat Williams interview. Shannon Sharpe has had everybody on his show. He's had Monique, he's had Tyrese, he's had the Crawford, the Cat Crawford that boxes. I mean, everybody's been on the Shannon Sharpe Club. Shay Shay, it's the place to be. And him and Ocho Cinco are some funny cats. I think they're super funny. You know, they have great chemistry, and you know they are they are hilarious. So you know, let's see who we got in here. We got another piece to the mystic. Peace. Yes. So yeah, you can't cancel what you don't create. If they didn't create you, they can't cancel you. Y'all keep that. You cannot be canceled if you were not created. See, he created himself. And so, nah, he won't be canceled. But he also has there's a new lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe. I don't know if you guys hit one if y'all heard about the new lawsuit. I know it's 10 of us in here. Hey, peace. I welcome y'all. Please, if you're on Facebook, repost this, send it out to the DM. Let's get some more people in here. Let's see if we can get 20 people in here. Repost this out wherever you're at. If you're on YouTube, send the link out to your people, right? Get them on here because we are having an adult conversation. This is a dialogue, but it's being put on as a monologue. So y'all come on in, man, and we'll talk about these things. I appreciate y'all. But look, y'all give me a one if y'all heard about Shannon Sharpe's current lawsuit being filed against him. Give me a one if you heard about the current lawsuit that's being filed against Shannon Sharpe because he's in more legal trouble, right? Now he just paid the young lady, and now he's being sued again, which is unfortunate. What they are, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up so you guys can see what is being said because Shannon is he can't seem to catch a break. He cannot seem to catch a break. You know what? I'm gonna talk you through it because I'm gonna try to get through this because time is moving. Basically, Shannon Sharpe ran a story about a sister, black woman who went to the Usher concert. That damn Usher getting people in trouble. Usher is out here destroying celebrity marriages, having sisters put their tongue in between two caramelized syrup soaked cherries. I mean, just out here acting crazy. No, no, but she went to the Usher concert. It was a photo of her, and she was in the photo with Usher, and they were quite cozy the way that Usher gets. And on Chad and Shannon Sharpe's show, you know, they had, you know, I guess they kind of made it like she didn't have a husband, or you know, she was out there doing something that she wasn't supposed to be doing. Well, it obviously caused some of her colleagues to mention it to her, and it got back. And she contacted Shannon Sharpe's show and Ocho Cinco and told them, hey, listen, you need to pull this down. Well, they didn't pull it down in time. And so she's now suing for defamation of character, and she's wanting $20 million. And so, hey, you know, there's a lesson in that because you know when you as a journalist when you report something that is okay, Mystic heard about it, Free heard about it, only once when she was ready to risk it all. That's a Usher song, y'all. Mystic, what she was ready to, baby. No, I'm messing. Yeah, she was ready to risk it all on that photo. But you know, as a journalist, man, when you're reporting something, when you're reporting journalism, it is your obligation and your responsibility to ensure that you report facts, right? You have to report facts because we understand the brevity and how intense the influence and the impact is on the public. Because here it is, It has gotten back to her moneymaker. It has gotten back to her career and her job, and it reflected badly on her. Now I don't know if she'll get $20 million because I don't know that it was 20 million worth of damage caused. Let's be fair about this. But at the same time, you got to be smart when you're reporting these things, Shannon, right? Corporations, organizations. So it's best to have the cold, hard, objective facts before you report something and put it out there. And when you are made aware that it's not the truth, go ahead on, come on out and make a statement. It's much, much, much less expensive or cost much less to correct it than to pay for it in the court of law. And that's what's happening. But I want to say this about Shannon, right? We teach our young black men and women, we give them the talk, right? We give them the talk when they go outside. Hey, when the police stop you, you need to move like this. You know, you need to keep this in mind. We need to do that for these athletes. We have to warn athletes, listen, you have to move in a certain way, right? You cannot give people an opportunity to exploit you. You cannot give these women or these men an opportunity to trick you out of the bag or to allow the law that is skewed and tainted toward trapping and legally uh, uh, strangling wealthy people. You got to make better decisions, and you have to make sure you cross your T's and dot all your I's when it comes to what you're doing at your job, right? That's the lesson with Shannon, right? On that $20 million, whatever, however much he had to fork out to the young lady who retired from OnlyFans. She said, "I'm no longer OnlyFans. I've retired." Hey, this is what happened, brothers. Y'all gonna have to be careful, man. You're gonna have to really be careful because these ladies, these people aren't playing. And when you're a celebrity, when you have means, when you have resources, whatever your color is, whoever you're dealing with, you now have a target on your back. And we need to explain that to young people who are potentially high earning or who are already high earning so that they know, right? Just like in the boxing ring, keep your hands up at all, protect yourself at all times. Let's see what we have here. Chris Brown, 3031. Well, does he not have a PR rep? When you say who Shannon Sharpe, he probably does. 86 Fades, celebrities in general. That's right. 86 Fades. That's right. Celebrities in general. Celebrities in general. They have to be careful. They have to walk a certain line because they have a lot to lose. And the law is strangling. In this new Trump's good green earth era, right? In this new judicial era that we are witnessing. And it's not even really new. It's just it's a whole lot going on. So you gotta protect yourself, brothers and sisters. It's been going on since the biblical days. You foaming the bag for some cat, like that Kobe meme. Yeah, that'll get us every time. That gets us every time. Yep, that gets us every time. So, so yeah. Next up, the Prince of Pan Africanism. The Prince of Pan Africanism. So I'm gonna show y'all. A lot of y'all. Yeah, I wanna show y'all this. You might have heard just a little bit of it. I want to show you guys a little something. I shouldn't be grinning because I really respect Dr. Umar. Believe that. But he's a character. He really is. And I really respect him. I respect his plight and I respect what he's trying to do. Do I agree with everything he says and does? Negative, but I don't agree with everything my parents said and did. Check him out. This is him protesting or placating for bread.
And the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. And the bank told me that my personal account.
That's a cough, y'all. That wasn't a laugh at all. That was a cough. He said, please hit my PayPal. I'm gonna let you hear what everybody has to say about Dr. Umar. I'm gonna let you hear also what his peers, what some of the people who have, you know, I'm gonna skip over all these laughing emojis. It's okay. Hold on, wait a minute. Free Spirit that he gave 23 million to a Bologna sound. That ain't right. That is not right. Whew. I'm skipping over all of the laughs. It's just not cool. Whatever happened to the school? We're gonna get into that. I will refuse to put a laugh on the screen. I see you guys have spoken and you've laughed. We won't do that. We will not. But like Dr. Umar, Free Spirit, I can download Cash App, my brother. Whew. Hey, y'all are silly. Y'all are ridiculous. Yeah, Umar, like I said, I really, in all seriousness, I respect Umar. I really do. I I agree with a lot of what he says. I follow him. He speaks a lot of truth. And I don't think he's a con artist like people are making him out to be. I really don't. I do think that he needs some help. I do think that his expertise is in child psychology, not financial literacy. And I do think that I'm hoping that he gets his school up and running. I really am. And yeah, it's been years. Yes, it's you got people like King Randall down in down here in Georgia, Albany, who started a school and it didn't take him half as long. It didn't take him, and I don't know what his circumstances was, King Randall, but I know that he got it up and running. I know that he's doing his thing. So I know that it doesn't take as long per se. I just I feel bad, but I'm gonna bring a couple people to the witness stand that are gonna help me, you know, kind of deliver my point of what I want to say. This person coming up to the witness stand is a good time, Charlie. Really respect him. Really respect him. He's another dope content creator. I think you guys have heard of him. Maybe not. He's pretty new on the circuit, but I think you'll like him when you hear him or when you get a load of him. I do believe that you'll appreciate him. And good time, Charlie is always, always, always. He's a bit of a comedian. Good time, Charlie is, and you may have heard of him, maybe not. Mr. Charleston White. You guys are seeing it here first, live. This is what Mr. White has to say, and I'm just being objective. I'm just showing the wealth of perspectives on Mr. White and his current situation.
Now that's why I say White is right, nigga. And I'm talking about Charleston White. That's why I tell him out there preaching about don't sleep with a white woman. Do you think a white woman will have her king, that's a psychologist with a doctor in front of his name, out begging before the world, looking like he ain't bathed in a few days, looking musty like that African smell? he got himself a king. And he said, you mean to tell me these sisters and these queens got the king out begging? Come on, King Dr. Farbar Fuquay from Jaffe Jiffy, Africa, from far, far, far away. You ain't got no business begging. Sell that, nigga. I'm right there. It's a punk laying right now about that Umar. It's a punk right now. Put the camera somewhere and it get you out of this rut right now, Dr. Umar. I'm just saying, find your white one. Look like the sisters have abandoned you. Ain't no bitch I'm whispering her ear saying a mother thing too. Better not have me going on live hollering about they done froze my cash out. Nigga, you going digital currency? Get out of Africa, come back to America. Every nigga in America know we got to have some cash in his motherfucking pocket. That's why you fat girl that you say a thing. When you got money, you ain't complaining about no bitch you don't about a thing. Yeah, let me know, nigga, you doing something. Are you smoking, nigga? You get high. Don't tell me you K2ing it around this. How in the you, Dr. Umar Johnson, you doing all these goddamn, ain't nobody paying you in cash, nigga. It's something to this shit. Everybody.
That was what Good Time Charlie had to say. But the context behind that is him and Good Time Charlie have been butting heads. And to my point, it's because because Dr. Umar has kind of been distracted with going back and forth with content creators, right? And, when you put yourself out here on Beyonce's Good Green Internet, you open yourself up to critique. You open yourself up to excessive, unjust, and just criticism, and you open yourself up to your privacy being what's the term? Your privacy being violated, right? Or like my big brother Yaya says, for lack of better terms, right? So yeah, but Charleston White, I thought that was hilarious because they have had a little beef. And again, these are things I'm just showing you, right? Because I'm showing you different perspectives of different people who the brother has gone back and forth with. As a cautionary statement, I'm going to show one more and then we're going to move. I'm going to show one more and then we're going to move. Now, this is Lord Jamar, who I'm getting ready to show you. A lot of you guys might not like the God, but he speaks some truth. He makes some sense. Not all of it is truthful and sensical, but not everything that you say is truthful and sensical, right? But yes, he kind of sums up how I feel about him, and then I'm gonna give my takeaway, and we're gonna move. We're going to move, making good time here. An hour goes by fast, y'all, when you're speaking. All right. Here we go. Like the Joker says, here we go. And here we go. I'm going to get to some statements as soon as we get done with this, you guys. Remember, this is a dialogue being conducted as a monologue. So I will be reading you guys' statements as you guys make them. Please comment on what you are seeing, your perspectives, your likes, your dislikes. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, let's see here. Vlad has been readmitted into the melanated graces since he apologized to the minister. So you'll see a lot more happening on Vlad, right? But check this out. Please check this out. Welcome. It's 12 of us in here. Come on, we can get 8 more people. Y'all, everybody in here, y'all should post this. Send it out to somebody that you know loves knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is Lord Jamar being asked about Dr. Umar.
I think Umar is a very smart dude.
I agree.
He's right about a lot of things. Okay. He says a lot of good stuff. He got a lot of good perspectives on a lot of different topics.
Mhm.
But when it comes to this school thing and this, what's obviously a mismanagement of funds,
I agree.
I think he's painted himself into a corner where he just can't admit what has happened.
Yeah.
And just say, all right, y'all, I fucked up. I fucked up.
Yeah, I tried.
Listen,
It didn't work.
but you know,
I just wanted to show that piece of it, just that, because that's where it ends, right? It's not where it ends, but that's where my sentiments end. Good guy, love his topics, but everybody's not everything, right? And we need help, right? And apparently Dr. Umar needs a little help with what he's doing because he's having some problems, and it's gotten to a boiling point to where, you know, it's hurt his personal pockets, and you never want to see that. I don't wish that on nobody, y'all. See, regardless of how I feel about people, I try to always keep my spirit objective. I try to always keep, I'm not always successful. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but I try to always keep my spirit and my perspectives objective, meaning reasoning, rational, and logic based. Now, some people might say that's robotic. You might think that that's uh, not human. And guess what? It's not. It's divine. It's right and exact. It's what makes you it's what puts you in your masculine divinity or your feminine divinity. It's what separates you from man when you can think from a divine place and look over those lower vibrational, right? Those lower level feelings and emotions. Because oftentimes that's what gets us in trouble. One, if you agree. Two, if you disagree. We can talk about it. But let's go to some of the comments before I go move forward. I'm voting for Charleston White. I love Charleston White. I love him. And I don't agree with everything Charlie says, but I love his method. I love his madness. And I understand it. Why? He's a mirror. He is a mirror. You don't get mad at Charleston White unless you condone a lot of the foolishness that happens in Black culture. Because him talking about the dead, him talking about children, him talking about women, it's nothing that rappers don't do and get praised and celebrated for. Y'all dig that? You see that? You see that? That's why I like him, because you get mad when one person does it, but when another do it, you criticize. I mean, you celebrate them. You love it. You singing it. All that crazy stuff. So he's a mirror to our community. See, you condone this foolishness. Don't get mad at me. That's my take on Charlie. Good time, Charlie. But what good when he stops swinging on people? Why good when he stops switching on people? You mean snitching on people? Dr. Umar is a stone cold fraud and con man. Brother, I respect your opinion and your perspective. I would just say, is that my brother Umar? Yeah, I think that's my brother. Yeah. I would just say, could you show his financials that could really back that up and justify it? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you probably have a perspective or some evidence that would show us exactly what you're saying to be true. I know that it appears that way. It certainly would appear that way. And that's a great segue to what I'm going to say about the brother, but I don't know that to be 100% true, right and exact. Snitching. Snitching. Well, I would say this: you only live once. He's making it cool to snitch, right? Sidebar. Cam Newton just read Gilly the Kid, and oh, I loved it. Oh, I loved it. Oh, I loved it. Because Gilly the Kid, and this goes back, I'm going to watch how I put Charleston in here. There was a young rapper out of Philadelphia, young boy, whose brother got killed. He told the police. Prior to that, Gilly and all the little rappers were advocating, bumping this dude, publicizing him, right? As soon as he did that, he lost all his street cred. They pulled all his music. Charleston White said, why would you do that? He's a boy. Why hold a boy to gangster street codes? His mind is not even developed. And also, who ain't going to tell the police that their brother has been killed and murdered, regardless if they in the street or whatever? The laws are made for you to tell anyway. Him and Gilly went into a back and forth. He said something about Gilly's son. He went on Club Shay Shay. Gilly did say he didn't like Charleston. Charleston responded, and it was a big back and forth. Why did you mention that, Brother Fahim? I mentioned it because of this. Charleston has always told us who he was. He has always told us, I'm for snitching. We need to undo a lot of these destructive, right? A lot of these nonsensical cultural norms, these gangster norms that don't apply to nobody, that harm us, that make it unsafe for our elders, for our young people to live in peace among ourselves. That's what that snitching is. And listen, a lot of you guys don't even know what snitching really is. There's a difference. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me this. There's a difference between snitching and reporting. Snitching is if two people commit a crime, one of us gets caught. They say, hey, you give us the other one, we'll lessen your time. That's snitching. Reporting is I'm in my house, I see a crime committed. The police ask me what's going on, and I tell them I report on what happened. I report what happened to me. Brothers and sisters, if you are not in the underworld, if you are not in the mob, if you are not involved in some type of criminal activity that would cause you to be imminently violent, it's best that you report on things that would make it unsafe for your babies and your elders to thrive. That's what Charleston White is doing. He can't snitch because he's not involved in what the other people are doing. Do y'all get that? Do y'all understand that? I'm for a good time, Charlie. I'm gonna have him on my show. We are all waiting for that moment. 100. I don't know what that's referencing. Free. Let's see. Let's go. Law-abiding American citizens support all snitching. Well, we support all reporting, right? Because if we're snitching, that means we're involved. If we're involved, then hey, you might have to do some time. But Dr. Umar, a couple things I want to say about Dr. Umar, and then we're gonna move. First of all, you cannot criticize Dr. Umar if you do not support him. It's much like when people say this. You can't complain about who was voted in if you didn't vote. Put a 1 if y'all ever heard anybody say that. You can't complain if you did not vote. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard anybody say that. Well, you didn't vote. How you going to complain about who got elected? See, if you don't contribute to the process, if you don't contribute to a person, place, a thing, a noun, you really have no say in it. What are you saying, Fahim? I'm saying that all of these people with these criticisms who ain't going to contribute to his cause anyway, it's best that you do this. Because at this point, you're rooting for the downfall of a black man trying to do something. Or like I told Yaya, maybe you can bring something forth that would show and prove that he's a slickster and a con man. Because a few videos that have been chopped up of him asking for donations, that don't make him a con man. That don't make him a con man at all. Every organization has donations. They just ask for them differently. Right? At your school, you know how they send your kids home with them cookie sheets? They asking for donations. You know that popcorn that they want the cheerleaders to sell, the gymnasts to sell? They asking for donations. that's the way that they do it. Now you'll say, well, I get to see that. I see what I'm getting for my money. Well, you do. Dr. Umar has a building down there. Now, I'm not sure what shape the building is in, or even if it's up and running. I doubt it. I'm just giving you guys the raw, unadulterated, lead with logic, truth, right? Let me read this real quick. If Dr. Umar, I see you. That's my brother. That's the God. If Dr. Umar was a con, he would be locked up, especially in America. Y'all know nobody wants his school to get built. I'm going to read that again. Y'all know nobody wants his school to get built. Amen, amen, ashe. White and black people, and I'm going to put both. I believe he was too ambitious and tried to scale too fast. Here go my takeaways, and I see you free and mystic. Here go my takeaways from Umar. Number one, you know, Umar has to focus. He really has to focus. He really does. Because if I was a donor, then I would probably be like, bro, you owe me something. You owe me something because I see you doing a lot. I see you with the excessive criticisms, the snow bunny, and these are things I wrote. The snow bunny lovers, the celeb criticism, all of these things are nothing more than distractions, right? Focus on the goal. Forget about that stuff. But I get it. I understand it. I understand that you're a psychologist and you are really breaking down the psychology, but these are things that maybe that you could move away from, right? Emotional responses. I always say it's not good for a leader to stoop down to the low vibrational responses or reactions of people who are not doing what they're doing. I think Five Dog, rest in peace, said this: I never let a statue tell me how nice I am. Listen, all these people, they're going to have something to say. People are going to have something to say. You better believe they're going to have something to say. They're going to have something to say. Do not ever acknowledge if a dog howls at the moon, we laugh at the dog. But if the moon speaks back to the dog, that is one famous dog. I really don't like when these personalities address these people who are not their equal. If you're not building what I'm building, you're not my equal. Even my platform, the little followers that I have, I watch and look at different responses, and some I don't even entertain, because when I look at the profile pic, then I look at their videos, and they have a goose egg, I laugh. Bro, you're not even worth my time. You're not even doing what I'm doing. So why can't I take you serious? The same with Umar. I just would love to see him focus in and let the fools, marvel at his success. Nothing succeeds like success. That's your best revenge. That's your best argument. One of the laws is win with action, not argument. Show and prove, right? Show and prove, brother. Dr. Umar got to show and prove. Listen, show some curriculum, show some progress, show something tangible in good faith that people can continue to believe. Because whether he knows it or not, whether y'all know it or not, there are black men that want to see other black men succeed, regardless if we agree with everything that they do or say. He liked them strippers. Hey, a lot of us do. Yeah, he might conduct himself in a way that I wouldn't, but I'm still going to support the good deeds and the good works. And I don't want him to lose. I would love for him to show us something, right? So that people can say, okay, I can continue to get behind you, right? I just think the brother's in over his head financially, and he doesn't have the manpower. That is my perspective on Dr. Umar Johnson. I will never say he's a con man because I don't have any financials. I'm not a contributor to that school, and I have not seen the IRS come in and get him. Like Ralph said, if that brother was a con man, he will be going to jail. We have seen people. We have watched Puffy. We watched Bill Cosby, and now we're watching Gilbert Arenas. We are watching people right in front of our eyes get in trouble and get indicted, right? And Dr. Umar, it would be one that they would get, because what he's proposing to do is going to really make a dent in the cultural norm, in our thought, in our psyche, right? He's teaching black education, autonomous education that a lot of leaders in the past absolutely advocated, built, constructed, and pulled off. So yeah, let's not marvel at Dr. Umar. I know I laughed. I did. And that was me being silly, honestly. But if I'm being serious, it's not funny. And we shouldn't, when we see great men, and this is straight from the minister, when we see great men fall, we shouldn't laugh. We should learn. So we should learn or try to help or just watch and stay out the way. That's really my real thoughts on Dr. Umar. Let me see what we got here. Ghazi said, keep teaching. I'm trying to be like you, Ghazi, man. I don't believe in role models, but you mine, man. I do believe that he will continue with his own thing despite ESPN firing. Of course he will. You know what? I went back. I'm sorry, y'all. I went back. Those were old comments. Let me go back to hey, lead with logic 7.com. That is the website that you can go to and grab some hats, hoodies, and tees, and a lot of other things that you please. Get behind the movement. I know you guys love. I know y'all love that symbol. Get with it. What is sexier than intelligence in an age where sapiosexuals are leading the world, right? Not just sapiosexual. Let's just say sapio, right? When being a sapio is cool, it's So next, Gilbert Arenas. I don't know if if you're not in the basketball world, you might not know who Gilbert Arenas is. Gilbert Arenas has a show. Gilbert Arenas is with Kenyon Martin. He's with Nick Young. He's with Brandon. What's my man's name? He played for the Bucks. Brandon Jennings. He's one of my favorite players. Brandon Jennings. You know, Gilbert Arenas got in some trouble. Now, Gilbert Arenas has a little bit of a record with getting in trouble. He does. You know, he got banned from the NBA because it was some gunplay in the locker room. And they banned him. And so he's a bit of a hothead. He makes some questionable decisions because anybody who gets banned from the NBA, you know, the common person will never make it to the NBA. They will never have that much money. You're making a salary, right, in a month. You're making what most people make in a year, or sometimes 2 years, or even 3 in 1 month. So yeah, he was ousted from the league, but he just has gotten into a little bit more trouble. I am going to play what happened to Mr. Arenas so that you guys can see for yourself. And make and we can get into this because this has implications as well. For our community, everything that I'm saying, these are cautionary tales that we can remind ourselves, we can teach young people to be aware of so that we don't, so that, it doesn't happen to us. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, this is something different. Something different. No Chill Gil.
Alvin, former NBA star Gilbert Arenas has been arrested and is now facing federal charges for allegedly running an illegal gambling ring out of his San Fernando Valley home.
Arenas, along with several others, were arrested today. One of them, a suspected high-level member of an Israeli organized crime group. Arenas has already made his first court appearance, facing a judge this afternoon in downtown L.A. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade live in Encino with more. Mary Beth.
Yeah, and Mike and Sherry, as the hours wear on, I'm getting to read these court documents a little bit further. And so it appears that the illegal gaming up here at this Encino Mansion began back in September 2021 and then came to a screeching halt the night of July 19th, 2022. That's when the feds raided this Encino Mansion. And at the time, there were 26 high stakes poker players inside, as well as a lot of staff that were made up of young women, chefs, valets, and security guards.
You're asking me, I'm telling you.
Former NBA All-Star turned podcaster Gilbert Arenas was allegedly running illegal high-stakes poker games out of his Encino mansion. Arenas, who the feds dubbed Agent Zero, and 7 others, including a suspected Israeli international crime boss.
Pause. Look at these names. Yevgeny Gershman, Giora. Look like the same name. Evgeny Tervesky, Eugene. Alan Austria, Alika. Yeren Cohen, YC. Levgen Krashun, Tarzana. Valentina Kojokari. Yes. I paid attention in my public school class. You dig? No. But these all don't, none of these people sound like, these are obviously not American people who he's in concert with, right? Who these charges are being brought up with, right? So, he should be careful. He should be very careful because the Israeli mob is like the Russian mob, right? And I'm gonna let this play, and I'm gonna say what this appears to be.
Boss and a West Hollywood lawyer have been charged in a federal indictment. The former Washington Wizards player is accused of renting out his Encino mansion on Gable Drive for the illegal games, which were allegedly hosted by his co-conspirators. According to court documents, Arenas texted one of his co-conspirators this picture of a poker table in connection to the games, which allegedly took place from September 2021 to July 2022. A neighbor recalls seeing unusual activity and scantily clad women during that time frame.
Well, just mostly people coming out at all hours of the night. Usually I'd see women, though, coming out. Yeah.
How is that a crime? Scantily clad women. Miss Huthensteiner?
Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning and taking off with whomever in a car down the street.
The alleged Israeli crime boss, Yevgeny Gershman, is accused of hiring young women who, in exchange for tips, served drinks, provided massages, and offered companionship to the poker players. The women were charged a tax, a percentage of their earnings from working the games.
The more people you have who are willing to engage in stuff that's illegal or high risk puts us all in certain situations that we don't want to be in.
Arenas and several of his co-defendants have been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business and 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business. Arenas was also charged with 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators.
I'm going to stop it there. That's interesting. That's very interesting. She said it exposes us to all sorts of bogus activities when you do that. All for some women, Karen? All for some scantily clad dressed women, though? How? Anyhow, like I said, like I showed you guys, those look like they're saying some Israeli people, so they don't want Agent Zero. They don't want No Chill Gil. The feds want the boss, right? You just happen to be an exposed body part, so they'll hit you. You deliver. They'll hit you and get you to bend the body over so that the head can be, hit easier. But now that puts Gilbert Arenas in a rock and a hard place, right? Because now either snitch on these Israeli mobsters, alleged mobsters, or do a little time. Now, he might not do that much time. Each of the counts hold 5 years apiece. Now, he did lie to y'all heard he lied to the feds, right? That's not going to go over well at all. He might do a little, I don't know. He's a upstanding citizen. He hadn't gotten any legal issues, right? So he might not do a day. He probably won't. But one thing sure, one thing for certain, two things for sure. We know that the feds want the big fish. They're like Ahab. They Captain Ahab, and they coming for the Moby Dick. I mean, they coming for the big fish. He's not the big fish. But be careful though when you're in instances like this, right? This tells me watch the company you keep, and also be mindful, man. Be mindful of what you do because he's taking money that's IRS related, right? You know, he's renting this place out. Y'all remember it was a guy named Mike Vick who was holding dog fights at his house. Dog fights. Dog fights. He did time behind that. He did time behind it. And so, you know, I don't want to see a brother get taken down, but hey, and then on top of that, you know, he made a video when he got out of jail. He was playing, you know, he was getting out. He was, you know, almost mocking justice, almost mocking the government. I wouldn't do that either. That's not wise either. Y'all can pull that up. Gilbert Arenas gets out of jail. He's running down the steps, and you know he's not taking it very serious. Anytime you're dealing with the law and your freedom is at stake, man, you better be as serious as a heart attack. You better be as serious as Richard Pryor was on Which Way Is Up when they accused him of sleeping with them women in church. You better be very, very serious because, you know, we have seen brothers get taken down for less. But there again, man, watch the company that you guys keep, man. We have to watch the company that we keep, not just the women that could sue us, but also these gangsters and mobsters who could get us hemmed up and trapped. Now, I would assume that he's going to probably lose. He's going to lose that podcast that he's on. He's going to lose any endorsement. And he, you know, he's doing well. His son plays basketball. His son was in a car accident where I want to say he was in a coma for a little bit, but he's still playing. You know, he's managed to still play. But yeah, that's a cautionary tale, you guys. That's a very cautionary tale. Watch what you're doing. Watch if you see some, you know, just don't hold no illegal activities at your home, right? And then you lying to the feds. That's never good. That's never good. So, listen, I know I said I was going to go over it. It's 9. The school year is back up and running. I don't know where you are, but here where I am, school, this was the first day of school. So the kiddos got out of there. They did what they needed to do. So I got to make sure that, you know, they get what they need to get and get into bed so that they can be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for tomorrow and that they can learn everything so they can get out my damn house. They can go be productive citizens. But I think I will save this for next week. I got a little bit in. I got a lot in for tonight. Listen, let me read some comments before we get out of here, right? Let's see what you guys are talking about. There you go with the inquisitive people. In my grandma's words, nosy people. Hey, they're all around us. It's like oxygen, right? It's all around us. Even if we don't know that they're there, they're there. That was considered unusual activity. That's what I said, Mystic. Scantily clad is unusual activity. No, I'm messing. No, I'm messing. That was funny though. That was funny. That was funny to me. You know, that was funny to me. Yes, Vic did, but look at where he's at and doing now. He's doing very well. Oh, he can recover. Gilbert Arenas can recover from this, but it's almost unnecessary. It's an unnecessary roadblock. It's one of those. This is a layup. Don't blow them. You got to make it. This is a free throw. Don't blow layups. Don't miss free throws. You know, it's a gimme. This is a no-brainer. Everything that I'm talking about here today is a no-brainer. If we talking about Shannon Sharpe, you got to move differently, homeboy. Ain't no giant worth 20 mil. And also, when you're talking about business, make sure you do your research. Make sure you get the facts before you present it to the people. And then if you are blessed and considerate enough to be warned, take heed. With the Prince of Pan-Africanism, hey, man, look, just focus on what you need to be doing. Focus on the goal. Don't be distracted by nothing else, nobody else. You ain't got to talk to people. People want to see results, man. They want to see them results. That's what people can appreciate. Let them talk about how successful you are. If they have to talk, what's that song? Let's give them something to talk about. You know, make sure they're talking about you winning, right? This is all things that apply to us. This is all things that apply when you lead with logic. And finally, with Gilbert Arenas, hey man, make good decisions for real. Make good decisions and be serious about when you get in trouble, because that all makes a difference, right? Your behavior after you come into contact or after you have been, you know, brought up or arrested, all of that stuff takes in. You got to go to court, bruh. I mean, you don't want to spend a day in jail. So, man, make sure that you're giving off that aura. Make sure that you're at least projecting that in the public to where this is serious. I am serious about my life here, regardless of what they're telling you, how little or how much time they're telling you gonna get. Take that thing serious, because freedom is nothing till it's taken away, right? Yes, it took him. It took some hearsay. It took it. Yes, it took him some years. So, Vic, but to be head coach for Norfolk State is a great comeback. Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured you were saying years once. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, absolutely, absolutely. He did. He can rebound. He can rebound. But I mean, why even take that detour? Why take that roadblock? Right? Why even go that route? Just be smart. Just be smart. That's all. But like I said, Puffy might be coming home. I'll mention this. Puffy might be coming home because, uh, you know, they're saying that what Puffy did was voyeurism, because not one of those witnesses got up there and testified that he had sex with anybody. They said he was always doing what? He was always watching. They also got up there and said that Cassie organized. They said Cassie orchestrated. They said Cassie engaged in a lot of the prostitution. This is what y'all don't know. The Cassie evidence, the Cassie circumstances was only used because they were trying to put that up under the RICO. Well, what happened to the RICO, Fahim? It got thrown out. So Diddy's attorneys are saying this. If the RICO got thrown out and the prostitution, him engaging in its voyeurism now, well, it's other people who have been charged with voyeurism that didn't do no time in jail, that weren't refused any bond. Either let the client go or let's get another trial. I say free Diddy. And what's that song? What's that song? Mariah Carey and ODB Fantasy. Y'all remember that song? Hit a one, put a one in the chat if you remember the ODB and Mariah Carey song that Diddy produced in 95. When you walk by every night talking sweet. Y'all remember that? Yeah, I get on my singing stuff too. But it's a line in there that he said, what you gonna do when you get out of jail? I'm gonna do a remix. What you gonna do when you get out of jail? I'm gonna do a remix. What you gonna do when you get out of jail? I'm gonna have some fun. Hey, I hope Diddy get on his OJ Simpson. I hope he get on his arrogance. He just beat the law. Y'all remember when Tupac beat the police, when he shot them two off-duty drunk polices that was beating that brother down in Atlanta? And when he walked out the courtroom, he walked out like George Jefferson. Y'all remember that? That's online. Y'all can see that. Tupac walked out. He walked out like George Jefferson when he beat the police. That's how, if I was Puff, that's how I walk out of jail. And then go and do a remix. I know I just said be calm and be cool and be serious. Well, that's if you going in. Once you've beaten it and you good and you done beat it with prejudice, it's George Jefferson. But yeah, Diddy's gonna be coming home. And obviously, Donald Trump he called Charlemagne a racist because Charlemagne who's been critical of both candidates, both parties. To be fair to Charlemagne, the guy whom I respect immensely, he's a great journalist. He's a great spokesman, and he stands up for himself. He does not allow guests to intimidate him into not asking those questions. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna get out of here. Trump made some statement. Trump's been going on he's been going on a rampage as far as what he's been saying about people, right? And he had mentioned Charlemagne being, a racist, which Charlemagne is not. And he had also mentioned he didn't like the things that he had said. Now, Charlemagne has been puppeted with the Democrats. Now, he has come out for some of the foolishness. Yes, he has. He has absolutely done that. But typically, he has been critical. I've seen some videos of him be critical of both parties, and that's good because that shows balance and fairness. But just typical Trump doing what he does. We should not get too inflamed, because we've seen this before. Yeah. So listen. Hold on. Free Spirit, what you think about 50 Cent still taking shots at Diddy and now Jay-Z? I've been telling people for a while that know me, I kind of lost a lot of respect for 50. I'm not sure if he did create a documentary or docuseries, but he was talking about creating a docuseries about Puffy and what Puffy was into. And then when I found out I forget what they were calling her in court. They weren't calling her Daphne Joy, but when I found out that was 50's his child's mother, it kind of like left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not really for black men kicking other black men when they're down. I would rather you beat him up. I would rather you harm his valuables, something that he might have bought, a car, whatever, But now when you begin to fuel a modern day media lynching, and don't listen, y'all are not going to meet a bigger advocate and admirer of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. He's still a mogul. He still attained the Black American dreams 100 times over. He still has, black cinema, at least black TV cinema, on lock and monopolized, right? And he still is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man. He's brilliant. Listen to his interviews, read his books. He could be a Harvard, Princeton, or let's say a Howard, FAMU professor, Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, whatever. He could very well teach a course on business, marketing, and psychology at any of those colleges and do it at an elite, supreme level. But now for him to join in on the foolishness, for him to now, kick Puff while he was down, yeah, I didn't really like that. That was unnecessary. He now joined the bandwagon of those people who are coming out like, I'm not gonna say no names, but if you look online, you'll see a whole bunch of people who now have had something to say about Puffy. They saw Puffy do this. They witnessed him do that. They were, he was a bad man. He committed this crime, but they didn't say it when it was happening, though, right? So really, what you're doing is you're contributing to the unjustly persecution and prosecution of a black man. And I'm not an advocate or even a real fan of Sean Combs, the man. I respect him as Sean Combs, P. Diddy, the mogul, because I respect him flying that high at that elite level for that long. Regardless, I don't know him. Yeah, I say you have to do a deep dive into his history. No, I don't. For what? I don't have to do a deep dive into his history. I know enough about Puffy. What I did a deep dive into was that case. It matters not about his history. See, none of that was brought out in the case. See, there again, that's conjecture. That's beside the point. They proved nothing that he did. He wasn't charged with things out of his history. He was charged with RICO. He was charged with what? Transporting sexual workers and women. I don't forgot. It was 3 charges though. Yeah, I don't see. Justice works like this, Yaya. It's not for you or against you. You get what you deserve. Good people get sentenced and go to jail all the time, and bad people get off. But who am I to say who is who? Who am I to say who is who? Regardless of their history. Yep, and power corrupts the heart. We understand that. We know it does, for sure. But nothing in his history would justify what's going on with him right now. There's nothing. Because I guarantee you, if they could have got him, they would have. Prosecution overplayed their hands, and Black America revealed their foolishness. We revealed the self-hatred that we have for our brothers and sisters. 50 was a manifestation of that when he jumped in like he did. I wouldn't do that. Or I would hope I would. Nah, he's in enough trouble. He don't need me. But 50 has always gone at Jay-Z and Puffy. If you look, he's always gone at him. He's always gone at him. He's always gone at him. Always. That's nothing new. That's nothing new. But I like the way they've handled it. They haven't fed into it, right? The only way you win that is if you shun it away, because he's the one barking. You now make me the moon, and you are the dog barking at the moon. I'm just going to shine bright like a diamond and let you bark about it. I don't have to respond, because onlookers are saying, why is he barking so? Why is he focused on him and he's just shining? So, nah, man, I don't have to deep dive into Puffy's history. I don't need to. He's not a saint. But he's not the sinner that they tried to paint him out to be in court neither. But yeah, listen, man, I have enjoyed you guys, man. I'm not too far over my time. I got to get off here. Look, man, leadwithlogic7.com. Go. We got, like I said, we got hats, hoodies, and tees, and whatever else it is that you please get down with the movement. Get down with the movement. Let people know that you not only wear logic on your back, but you wear it in your mind as well, right? You wear it in your mind and on your back. Hey, listen, next Monday, look, give me a 1 if you enjoy what you heard today. Give me a 1. It's 8 of us. Give me a 1. Everybody in the chat, put a 1 if you enjoy what you heard. Put a 1 if you enjoy what you heard. Put a 1 if you enjoy what you heard. Free Spirit, all right. Mystic, great build, all right, all right. The Mystic one, see, I knew Mystic could follow directions. I knew she. Right. Public enemy. Ralph said public enemy number 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Brittany Bishop. Okay, Pac was one of a kind, and he was. Pac sure was, Miss Bishop. Sure was. That's a fact. That is a fact. Unbelievable said 1. Hey, Unbelievable said 1. All right, all right. All right. Listen, I appreciate you guys. Look. Listen, man, I heard Malcolm X say this, and I've been saying it ever since. I love it. Listen, may we all meet again in the light of understanding, y'all. Look, peace and love always. Hey, y'all come on back through next Monday and invite some people. Like they used to say in the church, don't meet me there, beat me there. Hey, peace and love, y'all.